When I find SGS, I'm gonna beat him up.
I'm gonna beat him
When
up.
I find Isaac, I'm gonna beat him up.
When I find someone shitting on the podcast, I'm gonna beat him up. I'm gonna find someone and beat him up. Dude.
When I die, find the intro button, I'm gonna beat him up.
Beat it up. Oh yeah, intro button. That's a good one. I like that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Such Good Shoot. We are your hosts. I am Isaac. That is Shane. Jovan.
I've never been to Puerto Rico.
Neither have I, but I am the Puerto Rican rattlesnake for today because Jovan is at his mom's house celebrating her and her motherhood. So, it's just the two of us. A little fun. What's up, UC? Dark Order? What are you looking at?
You don't look Puerto Rican, and the Evil Uno shirt definitely doesn't help things.
I've got a mask somewhere. I got a luchador mask somewhere. That'll help, right? Now I look Puerto Rican in this one, right? I don't know why I have Dark Order, so much Dark Order shit, other than I guess it was all in the crates. The crates.
Yes, yeah, no, there's definitely crates.
Well, I am number 11, so you know me. What are you drinking today, bud?
I got some Bush. I'm just taking it easy here.
I got myself a mixed 12-pack of the Arizonas.
Well, you're still on the Arizonas.
Well, I haven't had it since the last one, so I got the green tea, which I drank one of those today at work. Not the hard one, the regular one. And then I grabbed one of the tall boys, 99 cents. Still 99 cents. Fucking inflation proof. Thank you, goddamn Arizona, for continuing to give us tasty beverages at an affordable price. But yeah, I wanted to taste the lemon and the hard lemon.
I had an alcoholic Mountain Dew today.
Oh, how was that?
So it was the live wire flavor.
Uh-huh.
But here's the thing: is you wouldn't like them because they're sugar free.
Yeah, that's why I never tried it. But is it?
Yeah. I was gonna say it just tastes like diet live wire. So as that aspartame taste that you can't stand.
Yeah, I don't understand fully. I guess maybe just too much sugar in the alcohol is gonna be fucking miserable hangover. But
yes.
But I don't know, dude. They put fucking sugar in all sorts of fucking shit. It's like.
Oh, I mean, it's
funny to be like, oh, we don't want to put sugar in because it's bad for you, and in the alcohol because it's bad.
I mean, ultimately, I think they're trying to make it I think they're trying to make it compete with the hard seltzers and things.
Yeah.
So generally, hard seltzers will be low calorie relative to craft beer. Why are you pouring a shot of?
Because I just want to compare. I want to do a side by side comparison.
Okay.
Of color and then flavor. Let's see if I can even see a difference between the two of them. There is a slight difference, a very slight difference.
Yeah, the alcoholic on the left looks a little bit more cloudy.
The cloudy one is the alcohol. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's got more of like a milk dud color.
It really does taste almost identical. It's wild. That's wild.
Do both at the same time. Just shoot them.
Like, if you told me that this didn't have alcohol in it when you gave it to me, I would totally believe you. I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. This is totally not alcoholic.
I believe you. I know you're on them. You should drink the entire show just out of shot glasses.
Just fucking shooting just every 30 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, just a little
Yeah. You know what, honestly? I think the hard one tastes more like tea than the regular one.
Okay.
It really has like
There you
more
go.
of the actual tea flavor, like the black tea flavor than
Well, I have no regular
alcohol.
Arizona or alcoholic Arizona near me, so I'll just have to.
Well, I just recommend if you get the opportunity to pick a tall boy or two up and try them, because
I have not seen them in the wild yet,
yeah,
so
definitely worth checking out. Highly recommend. I'm still on the kick, so it's very refreshing. Very refreshing.
tasty.
Yeah, I went to a mud show last weekend. It was a lot of fun. I had a really good time. Great show. Green Mountain Wrestling, their first show in and I guess they were a small little territory a long time ago, and now they're starting back up again under some new
So,
management.
this wasn't the same
Nope.
promotion as the last one. So where did the last promotion go to? Have they just ran no more
No,
shows?
no, they're still running shows.
But
They
it's in the
used
same building.
No, that was a different town. The other one was called
Oh, what? Okay.
ETWA, Eastern Township Wrestling Alliance. ETWA is out of Canada. I think it's like southern Canada, like right on the border, basically.
Ah,
I think that was one of the promotions that fucking Fandango worked in when he was wrestling in Vermont and shit. Because I remember you talked about that a little bit. But yeah, that was it. They use a lot of the same wrestlers, but honestly, the Green Mountain Wrestling put on a better show. It was really good. They had a lot of good. They had a lot of good local talents and people from like Massachusetts and shit. Um, they had a tag match with Mullet Man and Jobs, which I'm such a mark for Mullet Man.
you
It's
love
like
Mullet Man.
I fucking love this guy. He's such a fucking idiot. He's such a but he's awesome. He's like a bootleg Hulk Hogan with a mullet, and that's his big thing. And
What's his finish? What's his big move?
the leg drop, dude.
Oh, is it okay?
Yeah, dude.
Does big boot too? I assume.
He does the big boot. Yep, he does the big boot. He does the leg drop. He wears the yellow and blue. Like I mean, and yeah, he does the gimmick. But
What's his theme?
I don't remember what it is in Real American. It's something like it's like a Mullet Man theme. It's like his own. He's got his own theme.
He's got his own theme. Wow, that's pretty serious.
Yeah.
There's
there was some good themes though. I don't remember what it was. My phone has a thing where like if music plays, it automatically listens to it and will tell me what the song is, which is how I was like, holy shit, like this guy's using this song as his entrance. Shane's gonna like this. I think I messaged you.
Yes.
Like, there was a couple
there's a local guy that wrestles around here named Sam Beal. And he comes out in a Bush jacket and it says Sam Beal. He wears some pretty fucking cool like stunner shades, got a righteous mullet, comes out to Bawa to Ba by Kid Rock.
Yeah, that shit was awesome. What a great song. Kid Rock used to be so fucking cool back in the day, and now he's just like
he's totally lost the plot.
Yeah, I mean he's got his audience, and like he knows who pays his bills now, and he caters to them. But yeah, he's not. He's a husk of his former fame.
Yeah, no, he's a long way away from American Badass.
Ever since his little friend left the earth, what was his name? Something.
I've got no earthly idea.
The little person who used to roll with him.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what his name is though.
Oh yeah. Anyway, yeah, I think he was the real talent, and Kid Rock was just a front piece.
Dude, I saw Kid Rock is the talent, man. I saw the one time I saw Kid Rock, he did a Kid Rock solo towards the end of the set where he he did like beatboxing. I think he freestyled a little bit, and then he went and he did a guitar solo. Mm-hmm. He played the bass. He did a drum solo. He did a keyboard solo.
Yeah, it's very cool.
No, it was not. No,
I've seen him do it. It's fucking cool.
Dude, I think it's significantly less cool than you did. I just wished he would have played more songs.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that like that was like the one thing I was like, oh, he actually like can play these instruments at least. That was sort of
Well,
my
he can at
thing.
least play the portions of that bit. I mean, can he play any more?
I don't know. He can play his little solo. He can play more than I can.
Well, sure.
But
just because he can doesn't mean he should.
He has that new song, "Don't Tell Me How to Live." It's all about kiss my ass, Joe Biden. It's good stuff. Joe C. That's right. Joe C. Man, my dude, my little man. Yeah. One of the funniest things. I'll pull up the picture here because I do find this genuinely funny. This is the program for the show, and includes the roster for Green Mountain Wrestling, and you have a lot of all these talents on there. You go through, you're like, oh yeah, these are all indie guys, until you get to the last picture, and it's fucking Andre the Giant. And I don't have for a fucking clue.
I still don't understand why you didn't just ask somebody.
There's just no one really that I was
message them on Facebook. They commented on your post. I saw it.
I will do that because I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah. Like, and they said thanks for coming out.
Yeah, they were great. They were wonderful. They were really nice. It was a good show. A shout out to the Colony, Electro, and Ultimo Amp. Those guys are class acts. Really nice to my kid. My kid had a great time. I'll play a quick clip, which is fun because it's there was a match. There was an open challenge by this kid Preston Douglas. And they really set it up in a weird way. So like he issues the open challenge, out comes the referee, and then they're like issuing the open challenge, and out comes fucking this guy. He was in a match earlier, BA something, a big badass. He's like a big dude. He was fucking scary. And he came out and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't accept your challenge. The referee already accepted the challenge." And the referee's like, "Huh?" And it turns out that the open challenge was to the first person who stepped in the ring. And that happened to be the referee. So the referee and Preston Douglas put on a match, and then the referee actually won. But it was funny because I think in this clip, you even hear my kid being like, the referee is fighting.
You want to go? All right.
The referee's wrestling.
He got so into it though. I mean, it was one of those things I wasn't sure, if he was going to get into it, he's going to be like scared by or whatever. But man, he had such a good time, and I think he is a wrestling fan for life, and he's certainly a Colony fan because they were so nice to him. He's autographed some stuff.
I mean,
for him.
Who wouldn't love a couple giant ants though?
Yeah. Oh, it's a great gimmick. Like the Colony is a very funny gimmick. As it is, like it's from the Chikara or whatever, and then to think that fucking Orange Cassidy is fucking one of the ants, and someone else was an ant too, who's like a pretty over wrestler these days.
Yeah, I've got two shows coming up. I'm going to GCW I Can't Save You next Sunday.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah. We will probably not have a show next Sunday.
I mean, we could do it early.
Yeah, we could. What time is that show?
5.
Well, yeah, I'm down. We could do it probably. Well, we'll see if I'm home yet, but either way, that's going to be awesome. And you get to see Matt Cardona and Nicholas the Bitch Gage.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of Alex Shelley of the Motor City Machine Guns will be wrestling.
Shit, all right.
Yep, Maki Ito, the girl, the Japanese girl who did some AEW stuff. Her thing was being cute, but then saying fuck everybody and giving everybody the finger, and then she hung out with Nick Gage and was pizza cuttering people. Yep, she'll be there. Bussy will be there. Who else? Hold on. Anybody else that you would know? The GCW heavyweight title will be defended.
Who's the
Masha Slamovich and Mance Warner, Blake Christian and Trey Miguel, who both have spent time on the Impact roster.
Was he a Blake Christian on Impact?
Blake Christian, I believe he's wrestled Impact. He's a GCW guy.
I just wasn't sure if that was the name. The name sounds
Yeah. Let's see who else. Gringo Loco versus Ninja Mac. And then Maki Ito versus Stephanie DeLander, formerly known as Persia Prada in NXT. She hung out with what's her name? She the Australian girl who is in the way, or maybe she's New Zealand, tall. She with Dexter Loomis. Nah, shit. Hold
on. Was this
she,
NXT 2.0?
She just dropped. Yeah. She Indy Hartwell. Yeah, and then there's Joey Janela will be there. He's wrestling, I believe, for the tag titles.
Wrestling.
I know, man. You just can't stand the Joey Janela.
Speaking of can't stand, Jim Cornette fucking read my question. They read my question on air, which was very funny because he totally missed the point of the question.
Of course he did.
And was like I think he was confused by it. I don't know. Because I'm like, the question is like, was wrestling broadcast on the radio before television? And if so, how was wrestling presented differently to appeal to a radio audience? Right? And he's like, of course it was presented differently. You couldn't see it. And I'm like, yeah, I know you can't see it. I want to know how it was fucking different. Like, how was like a match set up differently to fucking sell it to a goddamn audience that can't see it? You would think it would be a little bit different, like, way of promoting shit, right?
Well, if how you said is how was it presented, I'm sure that he meant like I'm sure that he thought you meant like how was it presented, like on the radio, like was it called differently, not how was the match booked?
Yeah. Well, how is the whole show presented? Like, how do you like you're showing it to a live crowd, but at the same time, like you have an audience that you're obviously selling airtime to the, you're making money on the radio. Like, yeah, it's just, I've always wondered that. And so you missed the point. I'm really bummed because I'm like, God damn it. I'm curious as like how it was actually presented to like sell it to an audience that can't see it. It's like, yes, obviously he's going to say what like the moves are. Like, I get that aspect of it, but fuck, tell me more. But yeah, anyway, it was fun. They said my name. It was cool. I'm a superstar now. I'm fucking super famous. So that's always fun. Yeah, I'm gonna try and catch some more local shows. We got a couple more Green Mountain Wrestling shows coming up. We got some ETWA shows coming up. So pretty stoked. I got like all of a sudden there's a lot of wrestling going on around me, and I have to like miss shows because there are so many. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
You should try to figure out who owns Green Mountain Wrestling and tell them to book Hoodfoot.
Hoodfoot.
Yeah, make Hoodfoot come up there and whoop some ass.
I don't know who Hoodfoot is, but I'll tell him.
Oh, you should, man. The Mo Atlas dude, long time opponent of John Wayne Murdoch. They usually hit each other with light tubes over and over again, and
yeah, it ain't that
just all sorts of craziness.
Ain't that kind of show. They have kids there.
Tell them to run an after dark show. Green Mountain.
It's funny because they do have shows that start at like 7 or 8, which like it's too late for me and my kid. But like, I mean, I could go, but it's too late to bring my kid to. But it's like, yeah, they have like they're like, oh, tickets for 6 and under is $5.
Well, some when he gets a little older,
I'm not bringing him to an 8 or 9 o'clock show at 6 either. I'm like, it's not happening. It's too young to fucking be out till fucking 11 o'clock at night.
Well, if it's a 7 o'clock show, it'll be done by 9:30, 10.
It's an hour away. They're all an hour away.
Well, that's not their. I mean, that's not their fault.
I mean, still, but even still, like if it's a 7 o'clock show, it gets done at least at 10 because it's a 3 hours usually. I mean, it still is like pretty late for little kids to be out.
I don't know, dude. I've seen WWE live, and Raw ends at 11. And there's a lot of children there.
I know, man. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. I mean, it's one thing if you're like 8 to 10, 11 or whatever, but like 4, 5, 6 is still. It's just like get that kid to bed. Be a good parent. Skip Raw. Skip Raw.
I mean, or just let them stay up a little bit one night.
No, they're not allowed to have fun, dude. That's what you get to do when you're an adult.
So that's why you brought him to the show. You're only allowed to have fun when it's light out.
When it's light out, and I was hoping that one of the heels would make him cry. I certainly can't do it, but it'd be fun to see someone else.
Just message them. Say, hey, me and my little cute kid are gonna be front row. Make your meanest heel make my kid cry.
My boy CC Boost was there. He's the emo wrestler, wears the sweater and does this.
And that's sweet.
And
shocker.
Man, there were some kids, they were fucking teenagers behind me who just sucked. They sucked. They were just shitty. They were just being obnoxious. They were just trying to like cheer for what they like. It was just annoying. Like I love like fans who get into it, but they were just being annoying. And CC Boost had was getting sick of it. Like you tell they were annoying him with like what they were doing. And like they started chanting, "You missed a belt loop," because he missed a belt loop with his belt. And so he like took the belt off and like threw it at him, but they're like right behind you. The belt almost hit Hugh in the face. Like I caught it. And so I was like holding on to it till the end of the match. I gave it to the referee after the match, right? Because I'm like, I don't want the fucking dude's belt. You can have his belt back. But CC Boost like came up and like, it's like, I swear to God, if I see one of you little motherfuckers wearing my belt after, I'm gonna beat the fucking shit out of you. It was so like he was just fucking screaming at him. Like,
man,
right
CC Boost was a little irritated.
Oh, he was pissed. Well, they were fucking being annoying, and they were like fucking up the match. Like, I mean, they were doing it all night. Like they're trying to make the show about them and not about the match, which is like you could be loud and have fun and do chants and make it about them. Just make it about the match. Make it about the wrestlers. Like, don't just be like, ha ha ha, we're hilarious.
Well, speaking of making a wrestling show about the crowd and not the actual wrestling matches, we've got Backlash 2023 emanating live from Puerto Rico in front of about 1.5 million fans somewhere at an arena in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, we were in San Juan, Puerto Rico. We were at the Coliseo de Puerto Rico, Jose Miguel Aguilot, and attendance was 17,944 people. And Jesus Christ, you could hear every single one of them. They were all extremely excited to have the show there. And it truly
and the crowd definitely didn't suck. They were just very loud.
They were awesome. They were really awesome. I mean, it elevated the show to a level where, I think that not only, like watching it, you could just tell that it was like it felt more important than Backlash has any right to feel. The crowd was just genuinely excited. And I think because of that, it made stuff that shouldn't have been nearly as entertaining or interesting much more so. I think the perfect example, we'll just jump right into it, is this first match. Bianca Belair versus Io. This was one of those matches where like I didn't have a lot of like expectation going into it. Io Sky's awesome, but I sort of expected Bianca Belair just to come out and whoop her ass, right, and be strong.
Well, she had to. Again, they did the draft, and they're on different shows, I think.
Yeah. But like,
they're not. I think they're all on SmackDown.
But what I wasn't expecting was that the crowd was going to be so behind Io. Like I had, like that was the craziest thing about this. Was like the crowd was so behind Io. And it almost felt like had they been allowed to, and I think it was just a question of them not truly being allowed to have the freedom to work the match the way they should have, right? But it reminded me of the way The Rock versus Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania was, where you go in and Rock is supposed to be the face and Hogan's supposed to be the heel, and the crowd just wasn't having it. The crowd made up their mind who they wanted to cheer, and so they said, fuck it, we're just going to play this up and we're going to go with it. And they did a tiny little bit. There's definitely a point where like Bianca Belair was on the outside and she was like visibly annoyed with the crowd. And like it was like, holy shit, this crowd has turned fucking Bianca heel in this match. And Io's fucking the face. Like, and it was really cool to see. And like the run-ins were great. And you know, the crowd was just so behind every little thing Io did. They had that great moment where she went for like the Rana in the corner off the top rope, and Bianca blocked it, and she sat up and tried it again, and Bianca blocked it again, and then power slammed the fucking hell out of her, power bombed the hell out of her. They had that great move where she, you know, because they were working Bianca's shoulder the whole match, telling like really good story with that, and then you know she did the fucking gorilla press, one arm gorilla press, which
and almost threw Io directly on her head.
Yeah, yeah. Which was, but I don't think that. I think it looked worse in that first angle.
No.
When you saw it, you saw it from the other angles, it didn't look nearly as bad.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't have faulted Bianca for dropping Io on her head with one arm because you know
it looked like it looked like
one arm.
Didn't try and tuck at all. Like it looked like they sort of miscommunicated what they were going to do with it. But honestly, that was the only thing in that match that I can point to and say that was a little messy, but it still looked good. Like it didn't look terrible. It just looked like fucking she just wrecked her opponent. And she also looked strong as hell. She also looked like she had been through a goddamn fight at the end of it. Her hair was all fucked up. Like, I don't know. It just was a really fun match. One of the better women's matches of the year. Honestly, like I thought Io really went out there and fucking put on a hell of a match. And I thought Bianca did too. And it was nice to see Bianca do a little bit more than just be like the super, super over baby face. It's like I would love to see a heel Bianca Belair run, like a strong heel run from her. I think she has it in her, and I think it would be good for her. But it was a 4.5 for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like this match definitely suffered from, you know, Bianca, if she doesn't drop the title to Asuka at Mania, right, she's not dropping the title to Io at Backlash. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, so I think that hurt the match a little. But I like the story they told of Io relying a little bit more on power. You know, she like scoops Bianca up and kind of chucks her into the corner on her shoulder at one point. But she's you know, intermingling it with her normal, you know, aerial offense. You know, they work it as, like you said, Bianca as babyface, but it just didn't really matter because the crowd was so behind everything that the Io did. It was almost just like the babyface was just kicking the shit out of the heel. You know, I don't know. I mean, it was definitely a really well-worked match. The crowd was super into it, but knowing that, I mean, obviously I didn't know for sure, but assuming and having a pretty good idea that Bianca would win definitely hurt my investment in the match. But it was definitely good. I mean, it's worth a watch, and I'll give it a 4.
Okay, I mean, you're wrong, but I'll go with it. Meltzer's ratings just came out, and Meltzer, let's see, what did he say? Where are we? Bianca versus Io Sky 4.25.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Is that that's a straight for us.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. And honestly, it was the in-ring wrestling match of the night. There's another match that I'll give 4.5 stars to, but it wasn't the in-ring match of the night, but it was probably the match of the night for me. But anyway, let's go next to a match that and I think this is the thing about this show is that I went in with such low expectations because it's Backlash, right? First of all, and then you look at the card on paper and some of it you're just like, yeah, whatever. But Seth Rollins versus Omos was another match that on paper should have been terrible. They had no reason to be anywhere near as good as it was, and they put on a good match. I just want to preface this because I think the thing with Omos is if you look at Omos in the same light as you look at the Giant Gonzalez, Kurgan, in the Great Khali, which he's one of those guys, right? Where you bring in just because he's giant and intimidating and he can't do much, but you protect him. He's by far out of those four, he is the best out of all of them so far.
I mean, it's hard to have any basis on. He's had one good match. The Great Khali had one good match. The other two did not. So he's at least as good as Khali.
Well, I think the thing about, if he's better than Khali. Khali had one decent match. It wasn't that great, but the thing is, even
that match with Cena was really good. It was really good.
Even in that, like, he still moved like shit. And the one thing I'll say about Omos is, like, when he hits a move, it looks good. Like, it doesn't look like shit. And he's
a little smoother.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, and I'll give him that. I'm not trying to say the guy is, anywhere on the level of someone like Paul White, right? As a big man, or Kane, or any of those guys, right? Because he's not on that level, but he's also not the same kind of attraction as those guys.
Yeah.
But I will say Seth fucking Rollins got a
this match really real quick
match.
had every reason to be good, and that's because they just let Seth work with him. That's why. It's been proven time and time again that if you put one of your best guys with somebody who is willing to work with them and willing to sell at points and willing to do their part, they will get a good match out of them. I mean, and Seth got almost his best match of his life
by far
by a country mile. And
this is about 10.5 minutes, or exactly 10.5 minutes.
Yeah, it was like the longest too.
And it didn't feel that long. That was the thing about it. Is they worked it so well because it started out with almost just whooping the shit out of him, throwing him around.
Well, it was a really simple story. It's just David versus Goliath. That's all it was.
Sure, but they also did the couple of things that we haven't seen before. I think one of the things that was really cool was seeing him go for the stomp
and almost just say no.
Yeah, just stuff it completely and just stay there, which was fucking great because we've never seen that before. Like we've seen, like the Randy Orton one where he goes to the stomp and gets thrown up in the air, right? But we haven't seen just someone's raw strength just stuff it and then take the two stomps and still kick out. Another really good move for them. And then to take the super stomp off the fucking top rope was awesome. Great sell on it, like because he was standing up, and like he sold it really well. It didn't look forced. It looked very smooth. And he also did that move where he fucking was it like I feel like it was like a German suplex from his knees that he gave to Rollins. and Corey
kind of just threw him.
Yeah, Corey goes, he just suplexed him from his knees. That statement alone is ridiculous. And yeah, it was one of those things where it's like, goddamn, like it wasn't a technical masterpiece. It wasn't anything that like should be celebrated, but for what it was, for a big man match versus a smaller guy, it was really well done. It was really well booked, and I think it gets the 3.5 for me. I really the crowd was into it, and Rollins. I mean, hats off to Rollins again, one of the best wrestlers on the planet to get a match like that out of Omos.
Yeah, no. I think I'm going to keep the theme of me rating something 0.5 less than you because honestly, I was thinking a 3. So
3 a quarter less. Okay. Let's see. What else do we got here?
What Meltzer rated?
Meltzer. So we're talking. Sorry, this is all in a weird order here. You're drinking, bud. Seth Rollins was almost. Meltzer gave it a 3. Wow, that's good. I'm about to pop this green tea with ginseng and honey.
I think next up was Austin Theory versus Big Bob versus whatever.
Reed.
Yes,
this was all right. This was probably the weakest match of the night, up there with
I like this one.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying that in the sense that, like, I think this is a great card. I thought it was a really good card. I think the only other match that's like, I mean, I would say this is kind of, Rhea Ripley and Selena Vega, and that's where, like, the weaker matches of the night. And that's not taking anything away from them. I think they were both really good. This one, I think, Austin Theory winning the way he did was great. I think the idea of, like Bobby hitting that spear and Lash, and Austin sneaking in, throwing him out and getting the quick pin was good.
Yeah, I mean, it made Bobby look good. Bronson had to take a lot of big moves before getting, before getting pinned, and
there wasn't a lot to it. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't much to this. It was like
I feel like that. I mean, honestly, I feel like there was quite a bit. You had the initial portion where
I'm just talking time wise, not necessarily.
No, but I mean, they did a lot with the time that they had. You had Bronson and Austin Theory teaming up to beat up Bob at the beginning. You had Bronson Vader bombing Big Bob's shoulder standing up, which
that was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely brutal. I mean, Bronson flew like three times in this match.
Bob sold the hell out of that because had he
had to. If he would have stayed up, he would have ripped his shoulder out.
But he still
would have ended up without an arm.
He hit really hard on it. It was great. It looked really good.
Yeah,
Bronson. I don't remember what Bronson's. What's his finish called? Like the splash thing he does. I don't remember what they called it, but it was. I mean, that was and he did that a couple. It was just fun. Yeah.
And then he also goes for the big old moonsault and misses like Vader.
Yeah. Yeah. And I thought honestly, I mean, for what it was, for an under 7-minute triple threat match between 3 guys who on paper don't make a lot of sense working together, like it worked really well. I think it deserved a 3. It wasn't like anything spectacular, but it was definitely above average for what it was. And
I think that it was every bit as good as the last match, just for different reasons and different circumstances. I give it a 3 as well.
Let's see what happens here. I just cracked this. So Dave Meltzer says Austin Theory versus Bob. He gave it 2.5. So only you and I are drinking together. This one tastes the weirdest out of all of them. I don't really know what the flavor is that I'm getting, but it doesn't really taste like the green tea ones. I think still the winner by far. Give me the lemon iced tea one. That's fucking delicious. I still need to find if they have the half and half somewhere though, because that shit looks real good. Anyway, the next match that
here's my question is where's the alcoholic Fago?
Can you imagine all the fucking orange lipped drunk juggalos?
Where's my rye on the rocks?
Bro, oh my god. Just wasted juggalos.
Where's my moon twisted?
Orange dyed lips. Alcoholic fucking. Let me get the edibles, the infused.
Yo, Isaac. Next year we should go to the gathering of the Juggalos. You should come down here. Well, it used to be here. Now it's in Cave and Rock, Illinois. But you should go over there. We should go to the gathering, man. We won't shower for like 4 days. There will be copious amounts of drugs for you to partake in.
Oh, you're gonna have to partake too. I need a buddy,
dude. I don't want to do random drugs with juggalos, man. I got to be honest with you.
Well, then don't bring me, okay? Don't bring me to the party.
You can do them, and I will hang out. I'll have fun vicariously.
I will go full fucking Wilbur Bernhard on your ass.
Would you like me to strip naked and throw myself off of the stall?
let's just see what happens if we throw a match down this hole. All right, the next match of the
It wasn't a
evening.
match, you fucking idiot. It was a fireball. That was a calculated decision.
Dude, that was awesome. That was the best.
It blew up Waterdeep.
We got Rhea Ripley versus Selena Vega, and I gotta say, Selena Vega, her getting that ovation and seeing how moved she was a really special moment. That was really cool to see. Very happy for her.
It's rare you see WWE let people get that kind of ovation, and you think of Zack Ryder at what, Mania 30, right? When he won the Intercontinental title ladder match and then just immediately lost it back the next night. That was Zelina's moment here, because they sure as hell could have given it to somebody more believable to win the title, because she had no chance.
No, but it was great.
No chance.
And to back up for 1 second, because I want to talk about the crowd, I just wanted to just remembered Seth Rollins' entrance, fucking incredible. The crowd singing along, awesome. And then they do the thing where they go to black with the spotlight and no music at all, and the crowd's just fucking going ape shit singing his song, like so loud. That was awesome. And then fucking almost kicking his head off in the middle of it. Was just
he body blocked him.
It was just a great, whatever. He just fucking but he did. He like fucking just hit him hard as fuck. But it was a great way to start that, because the crowd was so into it. It was really cool. They let it go just long enough, and then for him to come in at that moment and do it, that was a really well done moment. And the crowd.
I saw a headline that some crowd somewhere, it might have been Puerto Rico SmackDown, I can't remember, but they serenaded Seth for 12 minutes straight.
Yep. Dude, does not surprise me. It was probably the SmackDown in Puerto Rico. It was awesome. Fucking awesome. Very cool. So that was cool. Anyway, I just was thinking of it because of like how into it the crowd was into Selena Vega, and they were really behind her. This match was fine. It wasn't anything spectacular. It was another short one. It was like just over 7 minutes.
It was another David versus Goliath, but unfortunately Goliath definitely won this one.
She hit the 619. That was fun.
She hits the Meteora like off the second rope, but the whole story was Rhea was just way too powerful for her. The first thing Rhea hits in the match is a big old power bomb. It was, I don't know, it was effective storytelling with a crowd that was super hot for it, but ultimately it was pretty much a nothing match. I mean, like, if there's one match on this card that people are going to forget, it's probably this one.
Yeah, and I don't think it was bad. I don't think
it didn't suck.
And
but
it wasn't even average. I think it was above average for a short women's match, but at the same time, it was just
a short women's match. And not to say that I'm taking anything away from it because it was the women, but ultimately a 7-minute women's match for the title doesn't help anything, right? Like, this match didn't really help Rhea. It was just a nice moment for Zelina, and I'm glad they did it.
Yeah, no, and I think it was, and I it's one of those things that had this match happened in anywhere else, I think for your argument of this is where, like the crowd was better than the match is definitely like an accurate argument. Like, had this match taken place anyplace else, it would have been a 2. But
I think it was a 2 here.
And I think it was a 2.5, just because it was because of how it felt more important because of the situation, right? And the way they treated her before and after the match. It just, I don't know. Yeah. That's where I'm at. I'm at 2.5 on it. It was fun. Rhea looked great. Rhea always looks great. Rhea's incredible. Rhea is a fucking superstar. She's so good. She's so good. She kicks ass. I got nothing bad to say about Rhea Ripley. She's single-handedly made Dom the biggest heel in fucking pro wrestling, and also has like carried her own storylines and helped carried the Judgment Day storyline too. You know, like I think more than anyone else in Judgment Day, like she is the biggest star in Judgment Day.
Well, yeah, I mean, up until they decided to actually push Finn, and then
sure, but even then, like out of all of them, like I feel like the one who makes Judgment Day the most interesting is Rhea. But I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Finn's awesome. I love Finn. I think he's incredible. So I mean, I give him all the credit in the world. I think he can do anything. Especially, I mean, considering he came in and took this over from Edge in the beginning, like it felt like a fucky weird way to start it, and then he did great. But yeah, Rhea's been solid as hell. Dom has been incredible in this role, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun to watch. Let's see, where were we at here? We were at Rhea and Zelina, and 2 from Dave. You are drinking again with Dave.
me and Dave are
You got dude
right here tonight.
Yeah, man, 2 peas in a pod. All right. Well, that brings us to our next match, which is a San Juan street fight between Damian Priest and our friend Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio, otherwise known as Bad Bunny.
I don't think he's my friend. I don't think he's your friend either.
He's my buddy.
Just being honest.
Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio. I just like saying that. Benito. Anyway, Damian Priest, great entrance, but the crowd blowing for fucking Bad Bunny's entrance and singing along was awesome. It was such a cool moment to just see that whole crowd just erupt like that and just go fucking ape shit. Like you could almost feel the building shaking. It was really cool. It reminds me because they had the backstage segment earlier in the show with Bad Bunny, and he's talking to like Rey Mysterio and shit, and then and that's when Savio Vega came in, and that was the pop of the night. Like that fucking was crazy. Like I was shocked at how loud they got for a backstage appearance for Savio. You're like, holy shit, man, that's fucking awesome. Like good for him. He deserves it. Like it's got to be great. But yeah, this match was so much fun. This was very good pro wrestling. This is not a good technical match. It was, you know, there was no technicality really about it at all. But when it comes to pure entertainment and putting on just something really fun for the crowd,
I got some mucus going on. Sorry.
You're good, dude. I'm just talking. I just think that like for what that was, you had the perfect match for the perfect crowd. You know, it's just one of those things where, again, it was a product of the night and the crowd, etc. But that was an incredibly entertaining match. They did a great job. Bad Bunny again looked awesome. Did a lot of good shit. Damian Priest was great in it. They did some big spots. He did that fucking what the fuck does he call it? The broken arrow
off of the tech equipment.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like credit where credit's due. Bad Bunny went out there and fucking gave it his all. He's a guy who cares, and you know it's good to see.
I was laughing because I was like, can you imagine how much money like the world would lose if Bad Bunny were to like horribly break his leg or something and have to miss like a year worth of touring? Because that dude is headlining Coachella. He's, you know, selling out and headlining, you know, the biggest
accidentally place. Crushes his vocal cord.
Yeah, like everywhere. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was good. It was made better 100% by the place it was in with a crowd that was there.
Sure.
Because for a large part of it, it was really kind of just a paint by the numbers street fight. Like, it started off a little slow as far as the street fightiness goes. I mean, I liked how Bad Bunny immediately started with a Michinoku driver and, Shock
Really
Priest, and then he, he runs away, and,
with
you end up
the
doing
shout out to New Jack with the shopping cart full of weapons.
Yeah, I really liked, I think it was Corey Graves on the way down. He says, "Oh, we're, with an homage to the island that made hardcore famous," or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, Shane might be frozen here for a second. He does look frozen. I don't know if he's coming back or how soon. But yeah, this very interesting. I don't know what's happened with our boy here. I'm gonna give him another second and see if he pops back in here. Oh, I hear him.
And then some pretty good storytelling late in the match. Like you said, there was that big bump in the kind of out in the crowd. You had a section where Bad Bunny was really just laying into Damien with the chair. I mean, he hit him about 7 times. I liked the knee work at the end of it, which Damien would go on to sell on Raw on Monday. I mean, he sold it in his entrance. He sold it literally the entire match, which was nice to see. And then obviously, I think the big takeaway from this is, Savio coming down and
Carlito,
and you get the 619 from Ray because he comes down, apple spit. Then Savio Vega brings out the decidedly less Puerto Rican rest of the Latino World Order.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like
I don't know.
Ray's Puerto Rican. But yeah, no, I thought it was a lot of fun. It was one of those things that was like, a lot of this felt like if I had to rewatch this or rewatch WrestleMania Night 2, I would rewatch this every time out of those two.
Well, it was also 2 hours.
Sure, but it still felt like this felt more like a WrestleMania match than half of the shit on WrestleMania Night 2.
See, I don't think it felt like a WrestleMania match at all, other than the entrance. I mean, the match itself was, like I said, I mean, it was just a good street fight, right? It was good enough to be a pay-per-view street fight for certain. I don't think they did anything that broke the mold at all. I don't think that there was anything particularly enthralling about this, other than the fact it was Bad Bunny, right? And it is impressive that Bad Bunny is able to put on this good of a match. But we've said that about pretty much all of his matches. So at this point, like Logan Paul, it should not be a shock that the 1 to 3 matches a year that they do are better than what they should be, because they are clearly just better.
I mean, it's wild when you think about it, because they have basically 3 guys that come in who are not professional wrestlers, who are stars outside of professional wrestling on their own right, who have come in and been incredible. You have Pat McAfee, you have fucking Bad Bunny, and you have fucking Prime there.
Logan Paul.
Yeah, Logan Paul. Like, and all 3 of them are just outstanding at what they do. And you can tell that they actually give a shit about it. And I think that makes a difference. Like they had that era forever where it was like, oh, we're going to have guest hosts, guest GMs, guest hosts of Raw. We're going to have celebrities all the time. And, you had all these celebrities who didn't give a fuck about wrestling and didn't care about it. And it was just a way that they're going on to promote their new show or whatever, promote this tour or whatever. They didn't give a fuck, and it was just like to see some guys come in who, like you were saying about Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny doesn't need to wrestle. Bad Bunny doesn't need to do anything with WWE.
Well, he also doesn't. I mean, again, I'm not saying that he never played sports, but it's not even like Pat McAfee and Logan, who are athletes. Bad Bunny's a singer. Yeah. He's the number 1 most streamed artist in the world.
Yeah. No, 100%. That's why it's impressive. Like, I think out of the 3 of them, he's the most impressive because.
And I would agree simply because of his background. But speaking of most impressive, I'm going to give this match a 3.25.
I give it a 4.5. I really think it was a WrestleMania quality match. I think Bad Bunny put on a hell of a show. It went 20 plus. It went a little over 20 minutes. You had some crazy
four of those minutes was the extended run-in sequence, though.
Which was,
so
but that was
it was entertaining, but
I think that's what elevated it to make it feel more like a WrestleMania match to me. It was the run-ins and the crowd reaction, seeing Carlito return, having Savio Vega come in, all that shit. It felt big. The crowd was into it. They didn't fuck anything up. It was all clean. It looked great. It was everything a pay-per-view street fight should be. And from a guy who has no business being in a street fight on a pay-per-view. And I think I have to give credit where credit's due. And yeah, for me, it was probably the most purely entertaining match of the night. I don't think it was better than the first match, but I don't think it was worse. So, yeah, 4.5.
Okay.
3.25, 4.5. Meltzer, Bad Bunny, Damian Priest. Meltzer says 4.5.
Wow, you and Meltzer.
Yeah, I mean, I almost gave this one in the first match 5s, but it didn't quite feel right. So, here we are with 4.5. I think that brings us to the Bloodline with Solo Sikoa, sorry, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso going against Matt Riddle, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. Matt, Jesus Christ, look at that fucking cock, Riddle.
Yeah, man. He decided to drop a hot leak. Did you hear it bouncing around? Like, did you hear when he was going side to side, slapping on his thighs?
Yeah, I was just like, I mean, that wasn't even hard. You know, I don't think he's much of a grower, but he's a shower.
He doesn't need to.
No. If he grows any more than that, his poor girlfriend. No wonder his ex thinks she was abused.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's truly ridiculous.
Her poor guts. Yeah, anyway, this match was really good. I think the biggest thing that it suffered from was that the crowd was just tired. The crowd got tired in this one.
Yeah, no, 1,000,000% tired. I mean, and ultimately, though, I think people got tired of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline, especially after you're beyond WrestleMania, especially after they've already been drafted to different shows, and especially after you dilute the players by adding, Solo in the match itself. In Matt Riddle. And I don't think Matt Riddle is like a horrible addition to the feud, but also there was only one person who was going to take the pin, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was Matt Riddle. I mean,
And yeah, and I think it just felt a little weird. Like the match itself felt a little forced, right? Like it was just there to like hold them over until the next pay-per-view. Till they figured out what they're going to do with all these guys. But it also was like one of those things where like this was the hottest shit in wrestling. And at Mania, they got the payoff. They got the titles.
Yeah.
And I think that there's something to be said for saying, yeah, like let's cut it out with the fucking Usos versus, Sami and Owens, and let Sami and Owens defend their title against other teams.
And they're going to, right? Because they're on different shows now.
Yeah.
Usos are over on SmackDown. Sami, Kevin are on Raw. So and in fact, this coming Monday night, tomorrow night, it was last Raw. They defended the belts against Imperium.
Oh, nice. I mean, and my thing is like, I would love to see, I don't know where Street Profits are, if they're on SmackDown or not. If they're on
I think
Raw,
they went to SmackDown.
But I think that would be another good matchup between Sami and KO. I think that would work really well when you look at both those teams. Like I think that they're very equally matched in a lot of ways. The way like they, I just think it would be a good lineup.
But Sami and Kevin are still the undisputed tag team champions. So who knows if they're going to separate those, or they should do the smart thing and just actually build tag teams up and build stories up. And then just have Sami and Kevin defend against who actually deserves it rather than the lottery every month.
Yes. But again, like I think this match, like it suffered in the first half because the crowd was so tired, but the crowd picked up and they did get him into it by the end.
I mean, it was just the teams playing their hits, though. I mean, this felt the most. This felt like a house show main event, right? Where they were going hard, but it was long enough to make sense. But they didn't really do anything new, right? It didn't seem like they tried anything new. You had this super kick party from the Usos. You had the Helluva kick out. You had all of the bloodline, debauchery, and they kind of furthered that a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I will say that the Samoan spike on Riddle at the end was fucking awesome. One of the best Samoan spikes I've ever seen, honestly. Really,
I mean, it was
great.
It was extremely well worked. And ultimately, I think the right team won and picked up a big win. But it definitely didn't move the needle. I don't know. I like it enough to give it a. I mean, I think it was better than this, but because there were no stakes and because ultimately it doesn't really matter because they're all on different shows at this point, anyways. It was really a 3. I mean, it was just a good, 6-man tag match that didn't matter at all.
I'm gonna agree with you. It was a 3. I don't really have much to add other than that. I will say that Dave Meltzer liked it a lot more than us and gave it a 3.75. So we just have to drink with each other. Anyway, that brings us to the main event, which again was a match that I wasn't really like on paper all that excited about. I mean, I love Brock Lesnar, I love Cody Rhodes, but I didn't really think much was going to happen here. But yeah, we have Brock versus Cody, just under 10 minutes, perfect length for what this was. And this was a really interesting match. I think it really helps Cody. I think Brock, he's so funny, right? Because like, here's a guy who he's like, I want to bleed, and they're like, okay, you can bleed. And instead of just blading and taking a fine, he goes and smashes his head into the fucking ring post and busts himself open on purpose to make Cody look better. And, I give credit to him for this match because he really made Cody look fucking awesome at the end of this. The match itself wasn't anything spectacular. It wasn't like there was a lot going on. The story was really simple, but they told it perfectly. And I think for what they were trying to accomplish with the Cody story and who he's wrestling, and I was really impressed with the way they handled it, and I really liked how much color Brock got and how bloody he ended up without them interfering with it, without them like trying to slow down the match or stop it to towel off. And I think it, in the end, Cody leaving him there bloodied in the ring was awesome for it. Great visual, works really well for his story to come back and eventually win the title. And I think it was
I totally agree with you, except for the fact that he didn't beat Brock decisively. He rolled him up more or less.
Yeah.
And then you saw why, because on Monday he comes out and he costs Cody his shot at the new World Heavyweight Championship. They're clearly they're clearly doing this again, and I'm sure that they'll drag it on to a third match. But I don't know. I mean, again, it ultimately this was every other Brock match, and it was. This was a match that Brock wanted to work. And you could tell that. You could tell he was motivated because he was selling really well for Cody. Great. He took the Cody cutter. He took the disaster kick. Obviously, he, headbutted the turnbuckle, and
he threw the Kimura lock on Cody.
He did, and then it caused him to get finished, which is why he doesn't do it anymore.
God,
but
that was great. Oh man, I was
this
laughing
was
so
still,
hard. Just a quick peek because we were talking during the match, and Shane was making fun of Lesnar. Be like, what has he got? He's got like 2 moves, 3 moves. I was like, 4. He does the Kimura lock too. And you're like, when was the last time he did that? And literally like 30 seconds later in the match, he fucking throws it on. And I just lost. I was laughing very hard.
well, like I said, and it caused him to lose, so you should probably take it out of his 4
It
moves.
did. He did.
But again, I'm tired of Lesnar matches. I am.
You've been tired of Lesnar matches since Extreme Rules when he came back and fought Cena the first time.
No, because I didn't watch at that point. I loved Brock versus CM Punk from like SummerSlam 2013.
Ooh, so
but I mean, it's again, ultimately, it's the same story in every single Brock Lesnar match, and it is because everybody he faces, other than Omos, is smaller than him. So what happens? He, they get like a hot start for a little bit, and then he just starts suplexing them, and then he ultimately hurts himself in some way. In this case, he headbutted the turnbuckle. Sometimes he'll run into the steps, which causes them to get a little bit more of a foothold. They hit a couple finishers on him. He miraculously stands back up, hits an F5, wins, or hits multiple F5s and wins, or they kick out of the F5s and he loses. That's every Brock Lesnar match.
I loved it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I don't know, man. Brock is great. I love Brock. I was reading something that he said that after he lost the title to Drew, well, he lost at Mania to Drew, right? In 2020.
Yes.
Yeah. That was who Drew beat for the title. He said that his plan was to retire after that match. And he, like, in his head, he retired. And then he was like, oh, this sounds like fun. And he like had some ideas pitched to him. And so now he's just doing shit that sounds fun to him. And he's just doing stuff to help get other people over and stuff that he thinks is like a good idea or like a good time. And like, I don't know. Which is
wonderful, but he still works the same match over and over again.
But everybody in WWE does that. Everyone has their match, and that's how they work. Like, I don't think that's like the worst thing. I think if you put Brock in any other company, he would work different matches. You'd have more going on. But like, I don't think Brock.
But he doesn't.
No, but I mean, at the same time, I still, I got nothing bad to say about him. I think he's one of the greatest of all time. But you disagree with that, and I get it. I think time will tell. I think history will vindicate me on this one, and Brock will be considered one of the greatest pro wrestlers ever in another 15 or 20 years. But I could be wrong about that, but I don't think so. I think really genuinely he's going to go down as one of the most important wrestlers of all time.
Well, the most important wrestler of all time gets a 2.5 from me.
Yeah, I give it a 3.5. I thought it was a lot of fun. Dave Meltzer gave it 3.75. He really liked this one more than both of us. So I think this is a show definitely worth watching just for the atmosphere. It felt much more like a takeover than any other pay-per-view I've seen WWE do, which was kind of cool. Like there wasn't an excess of matches. And yeah, they let the people wrestle. It was good. I think it's, a 4-star pay-per-view, and it's one that you should go and watch.
Yeah, I mean, this pay-per-view is definitely better than the sum of is definitely better as the sum of its parts than the parts themselves because of the crowd. Mainly. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's worth throwing on and maybe, throwing on at other points if you're not really looking to pay full attention to the ring work. I'll give it a 3.25.
All right. I mean, that's better than I expected, honestly. I figured you would find a way to hate everything about it, but it's funny how that works. I had a good time. I really enjoyed it. I had fun watching it. I had fun with the pay-per-view. It was a really entertaining show. So it was. I think they should do more shows in Puerto Rico. I think they should do shows in Mexico City. I think they should do shows in front of big rowdy crowds because it makes it so much more entertaining to watch. It elevates whatever it is. So that's my takeaway from it. We're gonna watch, I think, WCW. Is that what we're watching?
Well, I will tell you that if we don't do it early Sunday or next Saturday, it'll have to wait probably for 3 weeks, because 2 weeks from now I will be at a large festival.
All right. Well, we'll figure something out. We'll be back. If not, we'll have some sort of fuckery going on. Either way, I'm Isaac. That's Shane. We're such a good shoot. Yeah, avoid the big rocks, I guess.